Good evening. Good evening, Dr. Roland. How are you tonight?
Super fantastic, like always.
Super fantastic. Well, welcome once again to another discussion with me. You are now joining me on the Relationship Zone with the Bar Talks Edition podcast. Yeah, we took a little pivot.
You gotta be flexible.
We took a pivot. We're talking relationships, which has, all encompassing love, life, and relationships, our relationships. So what better relationship than to talk about that relationship that we have with our health, right?
Right.
So thank you for joining me for Bar Talks edition of the Relationship Zone. I have my drink. I know you have yours. What you drinking tonight?
Cosmo, Dr. Roland style.
Look at you, look at you, look at you, of course. So, for those that are watching, they may or may not be familiar with the fact that you join me. We have our sips, we drink our cocktails, we talk about this crazy pandemic and the current state of life that we are in. And so I appreciate you dropping by. And I want those that are listening and watching us tonight to just get a chance to get to know you and hear what you have to tell the people that are listening about this pandemic, the vaccines, the mutation. You have been steady spreading this information all over the globe, it seems. And here you are tonight in our living rooms talking about it with me. So thank you, Dr. Roland.
Hey, no, thank you for even having me on your platform. But what my mission is, and
Yeah.
since I started this stuff back in February, March, being nominated Global Humanitarian of the World. I'll find out in June. Being on the Everyday Heroes, being on the platform with all Lady Gaga and all the stuff that I've done. And so it's time, let's keep it real. And I don't have nothing to hide. And, this is thank God, I think this is my last interview or my last podcast for the year besides the Black News Channel. And it's been a long road. And I hope we made a difference, Queenie.
Yeah.
You've gone through with your father.
Yeah.
9 yards, the healing process. So, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
Come on, little sis, let's make it happen.
I'm ready. I am so ready. I'm going to get our chat box up.
Okay.
People are already saying hello to you. Of course, look, they come for you. They don't come for me. So
I'm a nobody.
Hey, you know what? You're out here saving lives. So no, you are extremely important.
I've been telling people since February, January, I'm a nobody. But everybody want to take me, and they want to try to get into a pissing contest with me. They're going to lose because you're me. If you want to be a virologist, get a virology. You want to see people go to the jungles, jump off the boat, get leeches on you, get bit by a snake, jungles for 9 hours, monkeys laughing at you, anacondas and jaguars tracking you. Go to a village, save 500 people's lives, then talk to me. But after like that experience, shut up and sit down. I don't want.
And that's real talk. Okay. So look, all right, this is what we're going to do. I have a few questions for you. There's a lot going on in the news. I have been hearing about the virus, the vaccines, and recently the mutations. Of course, the mutations is something you talked about way back when on this show, like March. I mean, I've been hearing you talk about mutations since you first started coming to the show, but I'm realizing today how it's suddenly mainstream. And I'm like, well, Dr. Roland kept telling us that this virus mutates over and over again. So I'll just start kind of backwards and ask you, why are we so behind with getting that information? What's going on? Why is this new news?
Because you're not dealing with experts. I'm a professor of virology. I deal with viruses every day. I was watching the news an hour ago. They got Dr. Fauci on there talking about Dr. Roland, like we said, the SARS-CoV virus is the largest RNA virus on the planet. The most mutagenic virus. I've been saying that since February. It mutates every 2 weeks. 25 additional mutations, over 40,000 mutations in the virus itself. And now we have the London strain, and we also have the mink strain out of Amsterdam.
Yeah, you mentioned that the last time you were here, that mink strain, it had all of us a little perplexed. Like, what?
They're shutting down London. What does that tell you?
Yes.
Banning people from London. You guys think I'm joking? This ain't no science fiction channel, guys. You keep playing around with this virus
Mm-hmm.
and this London strain, N501, and you take this mink strain, mark my words, baby. These babies get together, we're gonna have a super resistant virus out there.
Oh my
Then
God.
you guys are gonna say, I don't want to hear about it because I've been telling you guys on what you need to do. And this is mark my words. Let me repeat to everybody again. This virus is a beta coronavirus. You can look at all the thousands of interviews I've been doing since February.
Yeah.
It's the largest RNA, most immunogenic virus.
We're having a little bit of technical difficulty. Just hang in there. Hang in there.
Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. We're live, so we have to fix it on screen. I can't hear you, so I've lost your sound. Okay, all right, no problem. All right, so everyone, we're gonna just take a second because Dr. Lane is definitely having some technical difficulties, but bear with us. He will be right back. I will say until he comes back in, Dr. Rowland has been talking about the mutation of this virus since, like at least February or March. So as today I was watching the screen, the TV talk about the mutation like it was new news. I immediately said to myself, wait a minute, Dr. Rowland talked about this already. So I find it just quite interesting. Okay, he's back. He's back. I'm going to bring you back in. Yes, got you.
You got okay, it's Mike.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know why. Every time I do a program, people want to call me during my program. But they don't call me at 5 o'clock in the morning. They don't call me at 5 o'clock. We're out to do something. People want to talk to me.
Of course, they want to know what you're doing
on my show. Doing this because he's going to knock me out. So we're back. The point is like I've been saying the whole time. To understand where we're going, you have to understand what you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
You're dealing with an RNA virus, the largest one, the most immunogenic one, that mutates every 2 weeks. This is a game changer, folks. And now you have the London strain, which is the most effective. Like I said, you get this one, you're going to be infected. 70% more effective than the one that we have in the United States. Yeah. That's why the population is doubling every 2 weeks. And then you saying, man, this is not a game. So you start thinking about the vaccine. So they took the vaccine from a patient back in February, came up with a vaccine. What does that vaccine got to do with the London strain or the mink strain or another strain coming? That has absolutely nothing. And the only people they've tested were healthy people. Mm-hmm. So tell me, I don't get this society. It's simple. It's medicine and science. Mm-hmm. What's the problem? Go get educated. There you go.
I have to ask you about that because I didn't realize how the vaccine came about. And I do know that, it's like a global vaccine. So a lot of countries have a vaccine now, correct?
Yeah. In global, you're right about that. I'm going to let you finish your thought because I want to let people know Australia was trying to do a vaccine. People coming out HIV positive. They shut the program a week ago.
Let's unpack that a little bit. How is that possible?
Because this is what people don't understand the information. Mm-hmm. See, I'm an infectious disease guy.
Yeah,
it's happening in the world every day. So you're gonna tell me they're gonna make a vaccine in the government in Australia? You get the shot, you get HIV, and they shut the program down. So then they're gonna try to buy Johnson & Johnson. So you think I'm gonna take the Australian vaccine? Are you gonna take the Australian vaccine?
So likely not at this point. So I will tell you, so Dr. Rowland, I was definitely contemplating on taking the vaccine because of the type of environment that I work in. And I've said it over and again to my family. I said, one, I know that it will not get down to my level for a few months. And two, I am still, of course, listening, watching, and reading and trying to understand what's going on. So with that being said, whenever you talk about this vaccine that was kind of in trials in Australia, I read in a Forbes article that people were contracting HIV, right? So I just want to understand how that's even possible because, I don't get it, but I know you can help us understand it.
Well, because what they did was probably the cell line they use, and people don't realize when you take the messenger RNA, you have to put that into a platform to be able to cause an infection in a human being. So adenoma is a great carrier. It's a great I think the word would be a carrier to be able to put genes into something that it can make it keep alive.
Okay.
They probably got some adenoma in Australia that was infected with HIV. Messenger RNA in that vaccine, and they started injecting people, but that had the HIV gene from an infected vector or something. That is why you have to be careful doing what you're doing. So my point to you is that this is a simple question for lay people. I've never seen a vaccine that's dynamic. Vaccines are static. This vaccine is not going to see this new London strain or this meat strain and go, I'm going to adjust that. No, it's not. There's no flexibility in that. What it is what it is. So for you to have the vaccine to be effective, you got to go get that N510 gene off that London strain, and you got to test that in the field. And Fauci's on television going, oh, yeah, we're going to have to test it in theory and all this stuff. And I'm going, oh, yeah, I know what you're going to have to do. Because that vaccine was not tested for this London strain that is shutting down again, which is more effective. So we might have a whole new pandemic just off the London strain.
Every time I talk to you, I feel just like, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to get out of this.
We're having fun. Let's do this. Okay, now, Queenie, would you sit down and lay down?
Don't sugarcoat me. Don't sugarcoat it to me, bro.
Your Vaseline on your ash elbow and turn on Charlie Christmas Story, and I'm going to make it all right. Boys, viruses are not real. Go to Grove County, Kansas, and bring all the viruses. Fine.
No. Give it to me raw, doctor. We'll take it raw. All right. So let's go into our first question. Should we take the first iteration of the vaccine? Since we kind of started at the back first. So now we're going to go to the beginning. Should we, in fact, take the first iteration of the vaccine?
Well, what Dr. Rowland's going to do, a smart guy, I think, and I salute all 3 million people getting that vaccine. I want to, because I'm going to be up in the stadium watching how the game's going to be played out. And I'm going to know in 6 months who got Bell's palsy on their face, who got allergic reaction, who survived. I go, wow, this is a real science, because they don't have the science.
Yeah.
And the day on television, CNN with Wolf Blitzer, we're still figuring out the data. So in 6 months, we're going to start injecting children, right? Figure out the data, right? They haven't even done children under 16 years of age. They haven't done black diabetics. They haven't done kids with autism. They haven't done kids, mamas that are breastfeeding. So you're going to tell me you're going to start doing the real experiment in 6 months? That's a lot of folks to inject, huh? That's a lot of experimentation. That's that word we're looking for: vaccine effectiveness, vaccine efficacy. I look very carefully on CNN. I don't watch that stuff anyway. I sat and watched him today because I want to see what words he was going to use. What words he used? He used Dr. Rowland's word. He said that the shot's 95% efficacy, but he didn't say 95% effectiveness. Take this vaccine, you put it in the field, you inject everybody on the planet. I promise you that shot's going to be 25% effective, like the flu.
Wow.
Period. End of story. Because take that vaccine and go real world. I'm going to inject your grandmother that has leukemia. We're going to find out how good this shot is. I'm going to inject your grandmother in the nursing home. I want to check her antibodies for a year from now. Does she still have antibodies that kill the new virus? So this is not the Mickey Mouse type of stuff. This is science.
Yeah.
This is medicine.
Yeah. Okay. Well, y'all heard it. So, like I said, I was considering getting, just because of where I work. But I also said that I was going to definitely wait and just continue to watch and listen before I make a decision. So I'm glad we're having this conversation, because that definitely pushes me back even further.
Well, the question I think everybody needs, this is the end of the year talk.
Yeah.
When I have my 3 beautiful grandchildren injected with this, whatever vaccine they come with, they can get one from Mars. and I say it's okay, then you do it.
Okay.
3 beautiful grandchildren not getting the injection, they're not a guinea pig for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
You don't worry about that. So when my grandchildren get the injection, it's been vetted, science. I know what's happening.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
Yeah. So Dr. Rowland, I just want to be clear. You are not anti-vaccine. It's the timing. It's
Okay.
the science, right?
Yeah, this is me and you talking. This is Wolf Bliss,
Yeah.
Queen Love, and Dr. Rowan. Wolf Bliss,
Yeah.
and they on our show for 30 minutes talking free. And all of my shows I get on the news, I get 10 minutes, 5 minutes. I want to have a platform for an hour
You got it.
for what's happening. I am a component of believe in vaccines. Vaccine in our world, epidemiology, infectious diseases, is what made our society what it is today. People living longer. I mean, back in the 1908, if you lived to be 42 years of age, you did well. Period. People died at 42 in 1908. Right. Now people living to be 80, 90 years of age, centennial. That is great. People around the world children are not suffering from diseases like measles, mumps, rubella, diphtheria, tetanus, yellow fever. It's fantastic. I'm a proponent of that. I'm the guy that's been in the jungles bringing vaccination to communities that don't look like me since 2004. I've seen the benefits of the vaccination. They're great, absolutely fantastic. I love them. I've seen the horrors of people that have not gotten vaccination. And I'll use children as an example of people that have diphtheria or tetanus. How many people in this place, even in the United States, have seen a child die from tetanus? Neonatal. They're born with tetanus from their mother and die. I've seen that. Spinal cord cracks, spinal cord ruptures, tetanus spasm, they dead. And the mother screaming as the baby's coming out. How many people have seen kids with diphtheria, their neck swells up and it closes out and the toxin goes to the heart and they choke to death? I've seen that. So don't tell me anything about vaccines.
Yeah.
I'm a pro component of vaccine, but on this situation, you got everybody running around. I'm just going to sit back and the science going to tell me where it's going to go. And I can march. Dr. Rowland, man, you've been right for 1.5 years. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm degreed up in this area and experienced up. There you go.
All right. Thank you for that. Hey, we have a couple questions. I want to read them really quick. One's a statement from Libby Brown. She said, I can attest to the fact that Dr. Rowland has been telling the truth for months. The others have been lying to us for months. Please listen. She is asking everyone that's listening and watching. Linda Birch is asking, will most of the side effects come with the second injection? And we also had a question, why do we need 2 injections? So I guess you can maybe answer both of those if you would.
Yeah, the bottom line is that anytime you have anything injected in your body, you can take a Motrin pill. You can have an allergic reaction. You can have an allergic reaction on the first time, and that's usually going to be from the polyethyl glycol, which is the fat molecule they wrap the thing. People have allergies to that. That can happen. You guys, it's not me saying you see what happened to the nurses. They're falling on television, having spasms on ventilators and stuff.
Right.
Faces are paralyzed. That's an allergic reaction. But most of the time when you will find out the allergic reaction is not the first time, it's the second time you get the injection.
Okay.
I'll give you an example. People get penicillin the first time, no problem. But when you get that second penicillin, boy, your neck start constricting, your eyeballs are about to pop out of your head, tachycardia. You got to get your adrenaline and epinephrine, because it recognizes that as a foreign entity. What does the body recognize that virus at first vaccination? A foreign what?
Entity.
And it's making antibodies.
Yeah.
So when you get the second time, oh man, we gotta go neutral. That's when you have your allergic reaction.
Yeah.
That you always have to be concerned about. Now, the second part of your question is about understanding the whole content and why do you have to have a second injection? Said it before. I have to listen to me. Go get a medical book. I got all the medical books in the world. I teach out of all my information I give people is based off of science and medicine. It ain't rolling fields. I'm sitting up here eating a peach, and I come up with an idea at 1 o'clock in the morning. But the reason why they have to give you a second injection because there is no conferred immunity or duration. What does that mean? Of all the coronavirus out there, I don't care if it's alpha or beta, there's no long-term immunity there. I can read that to you in my medical book right now. I inject you, and man, you guess what? You hope your body remembers it, and they inject you the second time to get what they call affinity maturation or conferred immunity, so your body can make long-term antibodies. But folks, when you have a vaccination that's been out 2 weeks, they haven't done the science. They only got 1.0% of the population. Who knows if it does confer immunity or not?
Yeah.
There you go.
My goodness. Okay. I hope y'all got the answers. Hey, listen, I'm gonna take a pause here. I want you all to share this video into your network. Just share it. That's all you got to do. Just share us. That way others can listen and watch and tune in even later. So make sure you share. All right, here we go, Doc. Linda asks, what do you think about Dr. Fauci taking the vaccine?
I don't know if he did be a placebo. I need to look. I injected myself.
I didn't want to say that, but it could be a placebo, right?
Placebo. I mean, hell. Can you imagine if one of them guys, some superstars like that nurse did, she get the shot and she all of a sudden television ball game over with.
So
I don't know if it's real or not.
right. We don't know if it's real or not. So a comment from our friend, Patricia Jones-Blessman, the Dr. Patricia Jones-Blessman. You have to stay alive until we have something that works. Get Lane's book. And then she shares where we can get your book. So wait, we're going to skip around. What is this book she's talking about? I think I have that book actually, and I've been reading it. If that's the same one.
It's a book called Navigating.
Yeah.
We have it not just in English. We have it translated in Spanish. Thanks to Angela Franco. She translated this book for us. So we wanted to get into Spanish. All the Latin American people that speak Spanish can have it. Folks, this is a guide. All these lectures, all this virology, all this jungle stuff, all this stuff from Germany, all this biological army stuff that I've learned for 30 years, guys, is in a nice guide on how to survive, read, and live, on how to wash your hands, what technology you have to have, how do you transmit the disease, how do you not transmit it. I don't know why people don't want to read it. Hell, I know everybody else reading, they want to read on Britney Spears.
You know what though? It's an easy read. It's a very easy read.
Right.
It's a very easy read. So I do hope people do go over to the link and get it. It's an easy read. You can also find the link on my page if you just go to the Relationship Zone on Facebook. Also, you can find it on the YouTube videos that we have had previously. But definitely you can go right to my Facebook page and you can find it. And of course, if you track down Dr. Lane Rolling, you can also see how you can find this book as well. And it is an easy read. It's very informative and it's very plain and simple language. So I appreciate that.
And that's what I tried to do in everything. And, I got so sick of people telling me that I need to don't tell people my credentials. Do that? People telling me not to tell people I got 6 degrees because I intimidate people. Oh my God. But when they were telling me I was retarded, it was all right. So now I got 6 degrees. So you want me to temper it down so I can make you feel comfortable and I don't scare people? I'm sorry. I'm the black man with an American black man experience.
Yeah.
You can take that to the bank.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me about education. Damn sure do not talk to me about infectious diseases and stuff. That's the reality. So what I'm trying to do is that when I talk to folks out there, I try to bring it down so people can understand the science. Makes sense. It's not like I'm talking about ATP and, a cellular respiration. I can go there. I can go on you. I can go molecular pharmacology. Folks, I've taken courses in molecular pharmacology. That's molecular pharmacology. So that's the time I've taken classes in biological warfare. So I'm a different beast. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to dumb down myself to make other people feel good. If you want to be Dr. Rowland, take your butt to Jung's with me. I promise you, I'm gonna drop you off.
All right, Doc, let's move to this next question. If the majority of the citizens choose not to take the vaccine, what happens to us? I'm guessing will we continue seeing people contract this virus and die?
Not necessarily. And
Okay.
this is one of the things that people need to understand on being very optimistic. My life has been built on humanity, saving people's lives, hope, opportunity.
Mhm.
When you're in my world and you meet death and hell on the other side, you look them in the eyes, man, I understand compassion.
Mhm.
I'm trying to do is make sure people understand it. We're going to get to the other side. That's a fact.
Yeah.
98% of the people get the virus are going to live. My son, military unit, half their unit were sick. These are all officers.
Mhm.
My sons call me dad. I'm positive. Okay. PCR, I got it. They quarantine. Next day, man, all these officers throwing up diarrhea, pooping, people in the same barracks. These are officers.
Yeah.
5 days, these guys are training again. You're going to make it. It's the 2% of people that don't really are going to have that problem, but they need to listen. They have to have biosafety, biosecurity protocols. You better be wearing a mask.
Yeah.
You better be washing your hands with antiseptic soap and not antibacterial wash.
Mhm.
These guys don't do, man. I'm washing my hands with antibacterial. Someone said, "What does a bacterial soap got to do with a virus?"
Yeah. Antiseptic soap.
Soap. Did I say antibacterial? Is Dr. rolling out of my
Antiseptic.
bacteria, or I'm talking antiviral,
Yeah.
antiseptic?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a big difference. So these to our question, no, the virus is going to mutate. That's a fact.
Mhm.
Practice great safety biosecurity protocols, you're going to be fine.
Mhm.
You're going to make it and stuff. That's the reality. But do not be listening to these fools out here that have already killed people. I mean, Trump got a guy, Paul Alexander. His whole thing was try to kill 1 million people. Herd immunity. Now they all quit and running. You're not going to hear about, but these guys have gotten blood on their hands. These are the people. I'm going to let 1 million people get infected,
Mhm.
which means there's going to be 1 million people going to end up dying. That is so archaic.
Yeah.
In the business of helping people, you're going to come up with the best policies and procedures to save people's lives.
Yeah.
Black, white, Mexican. When I'm in the jungles of Peru, I don't speak no Boer or Indian or native tongue, Yaguas, but they see my heart.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, well, look, Doc, Patricia Blessman, she shared antiseptic soap from Safe Hands US.
No, that's wrong. It needs to be the antiseptic can wash from www.mifinger.com.
Okay, I'm sure that she will correct that.
Yeah,
I think we initially was using some products from Safe Hands, correct?
hands to My Finger platform.
Okay.
That's what we have.
Okay.
United Safe for Hands now. It's www.mifinger.com.
Okay. All right, Dr. Blessman, I know you got that. And if you do, put it up in our chat box. I appreciate you.
I'm having fun.
Okay. Okay. Look,
I've been waiting to do just to be able to just how do y'all say it? Let my S out.
yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
you get to put your hair down here. You know, this is a place where
Wave it in the air, and I don't have
yeah,
to pretend and be all military. And
no,
this is a fun one.
you got it.
This is history.
You got it. You got it. That's what we're doing. 2020, we're taking it out with this conversation. All right, here we go. We have someone here. My friend Renee. She says, I currently have COVID. I'm 9 days into my symptoms. How long do I need to stay quarantined? First question. And most of my symptoms have subsided, but I'm nervous to go around anyone right now. That is something a lot of people deal with.
Well, I've had. Trust me, I get calls from all over the world. I'm talking about people tell me you read the stuff, Queen. I mean,
yes, of course.
Hair falling out, trying to get back, and you got people running around that they think they're invincible.
Yeah.
Go ahead and contract the disease. There are complications to that. So to her question is that they've gone from the CDC has gone down from 14 days down to 7 days now.
Mm-hmm.
The reality is that it's depending on how you feel. Do you
Mm-hmm.
still get diarrhea? Are you fatigued, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Now I got people that are recovered, but they're still tired. Because, folks, let me tell you about this virus. It's the largest RNA virus. This virus affects your musculoskeletal system, your neurovascular system. It affects your gastrointestinal tract,
Mm-hmm.
eyes, your lungs, etc. Folks, the complication long haul is more dangerous than actual getting the disease because people are depressed. People want to commit suicide. People
Mm.
have diarrhea, gastrointestinal, nausea, vomiting, heart attacks. Kids are dying from multi-inflammatory syndrome. And you telling me this is a flu? Are you out your mind? Who in the hell ever said that stupid stuff?
Mm.
This virus is more lethal than influenza, HIV, and Ebola all put together.
Yeah.
Period. It's a game changer.
Yeah.
So she needs to monitor her symptoms. Make sure that you get a PCR test. I didn't say, Dr. Rowland didn't say go get an antigen antibody test, which is unreliable. That's probably one of the reasons the virus is spread worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
Out of 10, 30% of them are giving you false positives and negatives.
Mm-hmm.
And people infecting people. So people need to understand. So, ma'am, look at your symptoms. And when you're feeling good, you're 11 days, you need to go get a PCR test. And that PCR test better come back and tells you you are negative. And if you're a PCR
Mm-hmm.
negative, you don't got the virus. You don't have to worry about antigen antibody and all this unreliable stuff.
All right, so let me just ask you really quick, and I hope Renee got that. Once you get the PCR test is a test that takes a few days to come back, about 5 days, right?
That doesn't have an S on it. It's finger.
Okay, so no S. Take the S off, Dr. Blessman.
It's a
I'm gonna
finger.
she'll correct it. So and we'll put it up correct for you, Doc. Um, yeah, I'm just reading the other one, so a lot of people are writing it incorrectly. So Dr. Blessman, take the S off for us. Thank you so much. So, what I want, there she go. She said, oops. So, but yeah, I noticed that, we have multiple types of tests that are available to us. But when you say the PCR test, that's the one that takes about a week to come back.
No, let
No.
me. This is
Okay.
important because folks, the test that everybody in the world has to have, and here in the United States, you have to have PCR, polymerase
Mhm.
chain reaction. This is the most reliable gold standard that we use in infectious diseases. I use rabies, yellow fever, Ebola, dengue.
Mhm.
Folks, this is a gold standard. You get tested for by PCR, you will have your results back within 3 hours, not
Okay.
weeks,
Okay.
not 2 weeks, but in 3 hours.
Okay.
It's the gold standard for infectious diseases. And I teach molecular medicine and diagnosis of infectious disease. Go to my website. I certify people in this stuff.
Mhm.
So that is the test. PCR, not antigen antibody, but PCR is the most reliable gold standard. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The sensitivity is 99.9% sensitive all the
Yeah.
time.
So I had that test done about a week ago. We had a scare at my job. Young lady contracted COVID, and she and I was in the same office together talking.
Mhm.
Yeah, and she had taken her mask off talking to me, and I'm very, very like I'm anal at work, right? It's ridiculous.
Right.
But I knew she didn't look good. She looked very flushed, and I was like, "You don't look good today." So I left the office, and because she has some other things that she's dealing with, she blamed her not looking good and feeling well on that. I came home and celebrated my birthday, and probably the very next day, I got the call saying this person tested positive. First of all, I lost my mind, but secondly, because I just felt that we did not need to be working in such a small office. We just don't have to be in the office right now. But we were there, and so I went immediately and got the PCR test. That's why I ask you. And interestingly enough, one of my colleagues felt that the 3 hour test was not going to be as good as a 5 day test. My anxiety was not going to work for 4 or 5 day test. My anxiety was through the roof, although I felt just fine. So I'm really glad to hear you say this because even at the clinic when I was getting the test, they were trying to reassure me that this test is what I need to take versus the other.
But I want everybody to need to understand. So you get a test and you find out the results 5 days later. How many people you think you infected?
Yeah,
You just killed a lot of people. You might kill your mom.
absolutely.
You might kill your kid. So that's why you have to have PCR testing on the spot within 3 hours. It says, man, you're positive. You can go back to work. Hey, man,
Yeah.
you're positive. You can go. You got to go home, or you're
Mhm.
negative. You can start working because the job wants you to stay at the work instead of going
Mhm.
5 days collecting unemployment, whatever they call it. I don't know,
Yeah.
insurance. But that's the gold standard. Not I'm gonna send you home and you're gonna get your results back in 21 days, and you're a super spreader.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm glad I did the 3 day. I just couldn't. My the way my anxiety set up, Doc, it wasn't gonna work on no 5 days.
A couple of cosmopolitans and
All right. So here we go. Dr. Blessman said, "You are the beast that we need right now." That's a great compliment. Next question or next statement is from Linda. She said, "I just got my M finger in the mail with a lovely handwritten note. Thank you for the note from the company. How wonderful. Today it was in the mail." All right. So that was today. Let's see. We're going to get rid of that one. I just want to show everything that's in here. All right. And now, sir, we have Dr. Rowland, is in your website, do you still, I'm assuming, do you have a travel size antivirus soap?
Yeah, that's the antiseptic soap at www.mifinger.com.
Okay.
We have the soap with the my fingers,
Yes.
so they can get
So,
ready to go. Get it. Wash your hands because your hands are nasty. Your fingers are nasty, and I
mhm.
think people need to understand. You listen to all the main media, and it's so funny. They keep talking about masks. They keep talking about masks, but guys, the biggest transmission of disease is feces. What's wrong with the word feces? Why can't
Yeah.
Blitzy going, guys? We're going to talk about feces today. Shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's all over your touch, guys. When you go into public, folks, every
Mhm.
touch screen in America, in the world, ATM, is contaminated with feces, guys.
Mhm.
24/7. For every 1 gram of feces, there is a billion viruses. For every
Oh.
1 gram of feces, there's a million viruses. You touch that screen, ATM, and you put your finger in your eye, your mouth, you're gonna get not the sorry,
Ooh.
everything,
So
influenza, you name it. So you have to protect your hands. And feces is the biggest transmitter of the disease. That's why people got massive diarrhea. And the virus lives in feces for 35 days. You think if them ATM machines, you got Johnny Go Lucky going out there cleaning that damn thing with some Clorox after everybody touches that thing? Go ahead and do me a favor all out there. I want all you folks out there, go put your tongue on the touch in 24 hours.
that's too much.
You got to protect these. Would you
So,
would you want me to go in the bathroom, take a dump,
uh,
and come and operate on you without washing my hands?
no, sir.
You think a surgeon would do that?
Don't do that, sir.
So you can imagine out in the public, touch kiosks, ATM
Mhm.
machines, go to Kroger's, Jitney Jungle. Hi, put your code in. Dee, 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 dee. And how many thousands of feces matter is on that keypad other people?
Oh,
So you got to protect your hands.
yeah.
My Mhm.
So I wear gloves when I'm out doing anything, and then I immediately take them off. And because of the industry I work in, I know how to properly take them off. So I do carry the gloves, and still, even when I do the gloves, I still sanitize. And then, of course, I mean, I got all kind of stuff in my car. Lord, my family think I am just crazy because I
No,
have so much.
you're not. You're smart. But I've seen people in first class flying these bourgeois with gloves, and the guy has his gloves on. They're purple, and he's picking his nose, and
Oh
he's touching the coke, and he's drinking the beer.
no.
gloves off. He goes to the bathroom, comes back, put the gloves on. Them gloves, I got pictures. I've seen guys in first class with shit stains in the back of their pants. I'm falling for it. I'm gonna put this on Facebook. So you can imagine sitting in somebody's seat on an airplane. I just told you 1 gram of feces.
Yeah.
Nasty stuff. I'm a microbiologist. I got it called like it is.
Yeah, of course.
So you can imagine these gloves. So people don't know how to wear gloves. And you got people got poop stains in the plane, on their pants on the plane. So you can imagine how many SARS-CoV viruses on that plane seat.
Well, we ain't gonna talk about the fact you be flying all around the world and you still good. We ain't gonna question the pictures. Me and Dr. Blessing, we were on you last time we were on here. I'm gonna leave you alone this time.
What's that old Negro spirit? Black don't crack.
Oh my God. All right. Here we go. We got another comment or question from John. He says, so my kids traveled to New York today. How soon should they get tested?
Well, I think it's depending on how was their exposure. If they don't have any signs and symptoms. In fact, I'm gonna be in New York on Thursday. I'm gonna go have Thanksgiving with my baby daughter.
Yeah, Jordan.
I'm gonna have cornbread stuffing, these cranberry, sweet potato pie. And I'm gonna eat up good.
Yeah.
I might gain 100 pounds. I'm flying Thursday to New York. Am I gonna get tested? We'll see. But more likely not, because I understand the environment. So if your kids don't have any signs and symptoms, they did all the protocols, they wore the mask, they use antiseptic hand wash, no necessarily. But if they start getting a fever, cough, absolutely and stuff.
Okay. So let me ask you a question, Dr. Rowland. I'm sure people want to know this as well. How many times have you been tested during this pandemic?
Reality, probably about 5.
Okay.
PCR.
3 hours. All right. PCR test. John, I guess he wanted to make sure you were talking PCR, and that is exactly what he said, John.
There's a difference between sweet potato pie and pumpkin pie, and PCR technology is sweet potato pie. Do you feel the taste? Can you taste it?
Taste the difference. All right. So here's another one from JL Wright. He often comes to our show. So thank you for coming again, JL Wright. My relatives in Florida were waiting between 20 to 30 days to get their results back. What in the world? Why is that happening in certain areas, Doc?
Because this is the, I'm gonna die one day anyway. This is just the fallacy and stupidity of people. Do not believe that these people in Florida got your best interest. They don't care about you. Keep it real. 30 days to get your result. How many people, if I was a super carrier, how many people would I have affected in 30 days? That doesn't make But these guys are the smart ones. You can go look at their educational background. I probably should degrees in virology. Just like the Assistant Secretary of Health for the United States government has a degree in dog management. Get that position, dog management, out of Dallas, Texas.
Wow.
Qualification. He can even hold my damn tennis shoes. But he is assistant director or dog handler. That's why we have the problem we have, because you don't got the right people in the position.
Yeah, that's a fact. All right, we're going to pause again. I'm asking everyone to make sure you share this video. We only have about another 15 minutes. Make sure you bring people to this discussion. Then they can follow us, the Relationship Zone. They can follow Dr. Lane Rowland. He is all over social media. He's rolling around. Follow this man. So please share. All right, Doc, here we go. Another question or comment. Renee, ask again, is it possible for others to live in the house and not become infected?
In life, there's never say never. There's a possibility, but the more unlikely, if somebody's infected in your home, you're sharing the same toilet. That fecal matter goes airborne, you can get infected. And there's a possibility that you might have great biosecurity protocols and you got your mask on and you're sterilizing your bathroom and all that good stuff. Possibility not. But more than likely, you're going to do that. My recommendation, folks, from here on out, and this new virus is out, you're going to have to upgrade your game, guys. You better get rid of that cloth mask. You better get you an N95. Because I promise you, over the next 3 years, mark my words, what's going to happen. N95. Y'all need to start getting rid of the cloth masks and all that stuff because we got a SARS virus mutant London strain, we got the mink strain, and we got the Batman strain, and I
Yeah,
mean,
and it's going to continue, right? You're going to have different strains anyway.
it's inevitable. It's evolution.
Mm.
And it's inevitable. It's what? Evolution.
Evolution. Wow. All right. So let's go here. If we had a regular football season at stadiums, what might have been the impact? Every Sunday, several 100,000 people attend football games every Sunday.
You don't even ask that question. You go Google Italy and look
Mhm.
at all that Spanish football. That was ground zero. 7,000 people went to a game. 7,000 people. There was like 50,000 people at the game. 7,000 fans came from all over Italy, and they all went to their separate homes, and they affected everybody. And that's why Italy shut down today.
Whiz.
So you can't have you're going to have big events like that. You better make sure you know what the environment is, what you're doing.
So you know what? So I'm going to bring this up again because I think you and I know Dr. Blessman was on the show when I said that for Thanksgiving I was invited to go to my family's Thanksgiving dinner, and I suggested that we all get tested a couple days prior to before I come because we are such an affectionate family, and I was just like, we're all coming from different places, so I mean, of course, I didn't. I mean, was that a good? I think that was a good idea. Do you think that was a good idea to suggest the testing prior to going?
I recommend that. That's what we're talking about, folks. It's this type of stuff. If Uncle Johnny's out there doing his thing and he's swinging and stuff, you better make sure Johnny get tested.
Yeah,
because Uncle Johnny might be that person. So this is part of your signs and symptoms. If you've been exposed. If you put yourself in a situation. So if you test yourself, you're going to have a great Thanksgiving. Folks, do not make that mistake. Ain't nobody listening to Fauci or any of them folks telling them I'm not going to be with Big Mama. That ain't happening.
Right. Christmas is coming. Christmas is coming.
You got this Bricks chick out there. She flying up to this white woman telling people what not to do, but she's up there eating turkey with her family. Who the hell she don't got no credibility. So let me keep it real. I enjoyed my Thanksgiving. I'm going to be eating cornbread stuffing in New York City
for Christmas.
Saturday, Sunday, and I'm gonna go old school. I'm gonna bring a turkey sandwich.
You gonna bring it back?
Taking on shelter. They talking about who will pull my turkey sandwich. I'm gonna enjoy it.
Oh my God!
Because I don't know if I'm gonna see them next year.
Yeah.
Period. So it's not gonna happen. So that's why a million people. Wolf Blitz on television, they're talking about TSA saying, man, there's 2 million people. Man, come Thursday, going to be 3 million people going through that area. So, folks, you can do that. Be smart. Mask, mats, wash your hands, making sure you understand that environment. Because I'm going to be eating some potato salad and some cornbread stuff on Friday. That's a fact in New York.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to post that.
Yeah.
That is on Instagram and Facebook.
All right. Okay. All right. So we're going to go to this question here. What is your opinion on the media stating that the current vaccines will work against the new super vaccine that is reported on London? Maybe this person came a little later. I know that you talked about this early, but could you repeat it for us, Doc?
I'm trying to figure out how would they know? The virus just came out last week.
Yeah.
So you're going to tell me all of a sudden these are supermen, X-Men, they jumped on a plane and flew to London, got a strain, they're testing. Get out of here, folks. Who are you fooling, man? So next week, there'll be a strain coming out of Iran, and we already know the vaccine. Come on, folks. Common sense type of stuff, folks.
Yeah.
So don't get caught up in this. And I don't want to say a troll, but don't get caught up in the negative. Be positive. It's positive information. But don't buy that they got it. How do they know? Hell, they came and vaccinated 16-year-old and kids younger. How are they gonna be able to vaccinate people in London, England already in 20? Get out of here, man.
Whoa.
I'm gonna drink me 3 Cosmo for that question.
Go ahead. And you sip. I'll pull another question up.
That's definitely the science fiction channel.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So Renee said, I'm also speaking of checking for fevers. I never got it. I never got any kind of fever during my bout with COVID. Still no fever now. So maybe you can just touch on like why does it show up differently in each person?
Because in the world of infectious disease and infection, temperature is never a very good gauge for a disease. You can have
Mm.
PMSing, you can have a temperature pregnant, you can have a broken bone, have a fever, you can have cancer, you can have the flu. Temperature is never an accurate gauge. It's a clinical sign to get you into what you're going to do. So we never use on fevers because fevers are unreliable.
Mm-hmm.
So temperature is one of the spectrums or clinical symptoms they like to use, but in the reality, if I got a patient in Peru that got malaria, dengue, HIV, and parasitic worms, they got a fever.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't tell me if it's from the worms, is it fever from
Yeah.
the is it fever from the SARS-CoV virus or the dengue. The fever gets you into that you have an infection.
Yeah. It's interesting that you said that, sir, because I was reading an article. A young lady has herpes simplex, well, the vaginal herpes. I don't want to say the wrong one, but she has herpes and she had an outbreak.
Oh, she had herpes on a cargo area.
Yeah, and she had an outbreak, and she said normally when she has an outbreak, she gets a fever, right? So she wound up going into like her job, and they are testing, doing the scan for temperature. But she normally runs a temperature because of the virus of the herpes complex, and so or simplex, and so they sent her home and told her, and when they sent her home, they told her that to treat it as if she has COVID.
Yeah, but anybody has virus. Herpes virus is for your life. It's in your
Right.
chicken pox,
Mm-hmm.
herpes 1 and herpes 2. You can get a fever if you're active and you're shedding virus.
Yeah.
Your body's trying to suppress that HIV virus is replicating. So
Mhm.
you're gonna have a fever with that when you have an acute episode. But
Mhm.
that's why fevers are very inconsistent, even though it's part of the spectrum. That's why it comes back down to you have to test individuals for what you're looking for. That's why
Yeah.
your technology looking for the actual virus is what you're looking for.
Right, right, right. I just thought it was interesting that she went through that and she
Yeah.
said, I don't have COVID and they sent me home because I have a virus, but it's because she has herpes and she was having a fever due
Well, I
to
would
having an outbreak.
want to tell people I got herpes.
I know, but hey, she
All
was
right,
just being honest about it.
rolling temperature because I've been carrying herpes for
Hey,
hey. I don't want to
hey,
but
Doc, no shaming on this channel about people
no,
battling with herpes or HIV or any of those things.
so you can't use that temperature. Period.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
People can have psoriasis. You can have
Yeah.
rheumatoid, autoimmune disease, systemic lupus erythemas. You can have cancer treatment.
Yeah.
Have malaria.
You can have an ear infection.
You can have ear infection.
Yeah.
You can have diarrhea. You can have gastro. How many different diseases do I want to tell you that you can have a fever on?
Yeah, exactly.
That's just
All
herpes.
right.
Okay.
All right. So John said, where can I purchase the PCR test? I went to one of the local clinics here. I went to one of the local clinics in Stafford, actually. Paid a little bit more money for it, but I did get it back in within 3 hours. I was sitting in my car. I would not come back home until I got a result.
So,
So
so tell people what your experience was.
yeah,
That
yeah.
help you with your anxiety?
So my anxiety was more from just not knowing and the fact that I knew I was in close contact with someone that had COVID and I needed to know. So I have my kids at home in and out, of course my job, I go to the gym, and I had a birthday celebration, and I thought I was just fine until I got in that call. And so immediately, like I said, my anxiety went through the roof. I would not leave that parking lot until I got a result. And the experience was easy, of course. I mean, that's my second COVID test. The first one I had long time ago, and it wasn't. It was terrible because it was new. They didn't know how far to stick the swab up, and it was just a mess. And I did have to wait about 7 days at that time to get a result.
You was
And yeah, I mean, I was totally freaking out, but this time was literally 3 hours tops. It was easy. The young ladies did my swab. They talked me through it. I mean, I had some burning sensation thereafter. It was nothing. And when I got my negative result, it's on my phone. I got the negative test result in a couple hours. I immediately sent it over to my direct supervisor, and I was fine.
Well,
So
Dr. test that I've been working with, for the folks I work with, we do it oral. You just spit it.
Yeah, that's an option. That was an option as well.
Yeah, so oral is a lot less invasive and stuff.
Invasive, yeah.
But bottom line, at the end of the day, when you got tested, and for all the people out there, your anxiety level went down, your blood pressure went down, your stress.
Yes.
That's the most important psychological positivity that we have.
Yeah. And I felt better coming back home to my kids, because that was the biggest thing. I couldn't do anything about it that night. I was here. But as soon as I told the kids, as soon as I got the call, I stayed in a mask. I stayed in my room. I stayed away from them. I was disinfecting the home. I told them to stay away from me, because I needed to get a negative result back. And so I crept at the house first thing in the morning before they ever got up. I sprayed my way out the house. I wiped everything down, because I was not coming back. And I had a plan B, which was go straight to a hotel.
Wow.
I did. I was like, I was not going to run a risk. If my kids were not infected at that time, I was not going to run a risk of coming back. I had my bag packed in the car. I was ready.
Thank you.
I was not playing, dog.
But Queen, you got it going on. This is our 4th show.
Yeah.
The show, it gets more and more exciting. I'd love to be able to just. Well, I think sometimes I feel like a stallion kept up.
Yeah.
And people tell me what I'm not supposed to do. I'm not supposed to speak too much. People, I shouldn't be doing all the programs for the common folks, the kitchen ladies in LA. I'm like a stallion. And everybody's been holding me back and holding me back. Tell me what? Well, guess what? This stallion's loose.
Yeah.
I'm gone. I ain't no company now.
And you're helping people like myself and those that are watching and listening, because you are accessible, Doc. And so I'm sure that we all appreciate your accessibility, and the fact that you will give it to us straight. I can't even thank you enough for stopping by my little bitty podcast to talk with us.
But I'm a nobody. I keep telling. I got back here. I was in the jungles doing my thing for 20 years, man. Nobody. I've been training students for 20 years, certifying people in infectious diseases and the jungle clinics and stuff. I'm a nobody. And that's, I'm a mortal individual. I'm going to be humble, but I'm also going to be stallion too.
Yeah.
But my humility.
Yeah.
I don't play with people, because I get all these emails at 3:00 in the morning, and people are dying and crying, and tell them, you know what? I'm not going to say anything because come on, folks. Let's keep it real. This ain't no game.
It's not a game. It is not. All right, Doc. So see, this is what we're doing. Renee says, I'm so glad that I tuned in, Queenie. This has been very enlightening. I received my positive results with no specific directions or instructions. That is a nightmare.
Yeah, and that's where we have the disconnect. This is Bowen's ground game and educating people. They don't give you an instruction. So what? She's supposed to go home and self-quarantine? Didn't somebody call her, tell her what she needs to do? There's a lot of misguided folks out there. So ask the question. I'm international. I'm worldwide.
Yeah.
Tell you what you need to do the best of my ability. Not we find you somebody else. Hey, you can always go to CNN and Fox.
Yeah. They're always talking about it. Yeah. All right. Dr. Blessman, she said, testing, ventilation, air purifiers. I think we've already talked about testing. Ventilators and air purifiers. Maybe we could talk a little bit about that. I'm just now ordering one for my job. Tell us your thoughts about the ventilation.
Folks, let me do the technology, on vetting it, defining out the best, ventilation system, purification system, because it's, everybody's got I have to look at the science, look at the long-term studies. I had some belief that the molecule unit was a good one, but it was, I don't know if they fudged the science papers and stuff. So I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna look, and I'm by the middle of January before we get to the third wave, because the third wave's coming, folks. It'll be here in March. Get ready. Hang on to your seat. I'll have the best purification vetted by probably mid-January if I do all the science papers.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. They're asking to post the biosafety protocols too. Biosafety protocols. I know we can post those. You want to touch base on those, and we can keep moving?
We can keep moving. You guys can.
So what's happening with the early treatment protocols? That was the question.
what happening with the early treatment protocol? Are you talking about, I don't know what defining as treatment for the disease or treatment for individuals?
Okay. So we can have that cleared up. We'll move on, and Dr. Blessman can clear that up. So we'll go on to the next. Dr. Rowland, since you did not develop the vaccine, how do you know if it won't work scientifically? That's from Lillian Chablis. Oh, I love your last name, Miss Chablis.
That's a nice name. I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
go to the FDA and you can read up on the vaccine. Hey, I have a saying, you know what you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Call them yourself. Find out.
And part of this is because you've studied this virus, or this
I,
type of virus.
I don't need to get into. I'm not going to waste my time talking about my professor of pathogenic virology at the Heinrich Institute in Germany. I'm not going to being director of clinical and tropical medicine in Peru for 20 years, and
Okay.
I'm not going to talk about me being certified in chemical and biological warfare and all the 6 degrees I have.
Okay. All right. Okay.
No.
So of course, any of you that are watching can always go back to any of to my YouTube and watch any of our previous recordings. We've talked about this for months, and so a lot of your questions you can probably find in those videos as well. So if we don't get to them tonight, trust me, these same questions come up over and over again. And Dr. Rowland, he answers them, and any of our guests answer them. And so you can definitely go back and find your answers somewhere on that page. The next statement or question is, I truly appreciate the work that Dr. Rowland is doing by educating our people. I share all of his information as much as possible. Thank you so much, Paula McNair. All right. My godson had COVID, but never had a fever. So there's another one. So we got to understand as to why that happened. Don't stop, Doc. We need you and the truth. And let's see, early treatment for COVID. Why are they not pursuing those options? So early treatment for COVID. I don't really know. You want to talk about that?
I want to get back into malaria. I don't want to get back from remdesivir. I don't want to be talking about Clorox and smoking UV radiation and all that Mujo Jumbo Juju juice from Africa. I don't got time for that.
Yeah.
You want to do conspiracy theories? Go watch Fox. You're wasting my brain energy on that.
Yeah.
I don't have time for it.
All right. So, Doc, before we wrap things up, I want to go back to one basic thing that you have always shared with us whenever we're talking about COVID and transmission. Can you just go back to elementary school with us one time and tell us how is this disease carried on? I know you talk about the 5 F's, is that right? Or 7 F's?
7 F's.
I have this written down like all over the place. So can you run through it really quick? I want to make sure everyone hears it.
Yeah, this is going to be the 12 days of Christmas, but we're
Yes.
going to the 7 F's and an R for Christmas. Folks, how do you prevent yourself from getting any disease or viruses, bacterial infection? You have to understand how diseases are transmitted, their environment. One, we know the disease is transmitted by respiration or respiratory. You better wear a mask. That's mandatory. Folks, don't be like them fools in Grove County, Kansas. Y'all can look that up. They're dying like flies. Mask no required. Trump-loving folks. Look up Grove County, Kansas on your internet. You'll see what I'm talking about on what not to do. Then we have 7 F's. How you prevent getting diseases, transmission. Face. We have feces. We have fingers. We have flies. We have foot. We have food. And we have that famous fomite. F-O-M-I-T, which is an inanimate object that your phone, that virus can live on your cell phone for 28 days. But also that inanimate object, because all you folks, y'all touching them nasty, fecal, contaminated touchscreens in public with your fingers. ATM gas, that's a fomite, folks. So these are the 7 F's. And if people get the book, it talks about them. And these are the principal guidelines you have to have to be able to survive over the next 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. You better not put your fan in your face. Better not wear your shoes in your house. Because I'm telling you twice, Santa Claus is coming to town.
All right, Doc. One last question before we roll up out of here. I noticed that the restaurants in a lot of areas are closing down for indoor seating. Can you explain to us why this is so important that they do this?
Well, I mean, I'm pro business. I want people to my responsibility is to save lives and get people back to school. I understand restaurants. And I think one of the reasons why, because they've done the studies, guys. You go into a restaurant, somebody's exposed or has the SARS virus, it only takes 5 minutes to infect you at 20.
Mm.
So you can imagine some of these restaurants, they got the ceiling fan going on.
Oh, God.
Somebody coughs. What do you think is going to happen? So you eating your sushi, and the man's down the road, he coughs, female coughs, and that thing gets airborne. You're going to be eating a sushi SARS COVID roll. So that's why it's more important to be outside where the air currents can take it everywhere, and always make sure you're not downwind. Upwind. I okay, that oh, I need to say that table, so I'm downwind. I mean, hey, it's straight up science.
You have just made me even more anal. My friends are gonna hate me.
But no, what you do, you can go. I want you to go out, enjoy
Yeah,
yourself. When
yeah.
upwind. So I'm talking. Everybody's expecting everybody down. That's how Dr. Roland roll. That's how I roll.
I love it. Doc, look, Doc. Look, I make no excuses for it. It is what it is.
I got my
Um,
on. I'll be wearing my glasses on the plane this Thursday.
yeah, I got mine.
Be, I can't wait for Thursday, man. Coffee, glasses,
Yeah,
walking through the airport, my Lululemon jacket with my white shoes, incognito.
I'll be waiting for the pictures.
Love, girl, you know you're my little sister.
Yeah.
You know me. If you need me anytime,
Thank
anywhere
you.
in the world, 365 days a year,
Yeah.
in SF, I got you six.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, Doc, listen, thank you so much for bearing with me as we pivoted from Bar Talks, the podcast, to the Relationship Zone, the podcast, but we still have the Bar Talks edition with you. Uh, and I think we will continue having that. I do hope. Let's see, I'm just still reading. There's some more things coming in, so I don't want to miss anyone. Someone said share the travel biosafety protocols. Do you want to run through those really quick?
No, you can
No.
post it like
Okay,
that.
I can post them.
Give people a summation. One, you better get some my finger. Put them finger tabs on your finger when you touch them kiosks or anything in the airport.
Mm-hmm.
My fingers. Make sure you have your antiseptic hand wash, not antibacterial. Make sure you have your mask. And now you better be wearing an N95 mask on these airplanes with this new super virus and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Using the bathroom, that you be careful.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get the mini bio decontamination from SRX products, get that to spray that bathroom down. Make sure you be very careful in that airplane bathroom. That is ground zero for feces.
Yeah.
Airplane. That's a fact. Be careful of the flight attendants. Watch how they serve your drink, how they go in the bathroom. Watch people, your situation, because sometimes them flight attendants ain't all what you think they are.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've
Yeah.
seen it a bit. So you do that, you're gonna be fine and stuff, and then do not let your guard down. Make sure you always know where your hands are at. Always make where you what were. Always know where your what
Hands are at.
your hands are at, and
Yeah.
always have that mask.
Always have the mask. Okay, someone asked one last question. They were asking about what about the vitamin D? Is there a link with vitamin D, COVID, how our bodies respond?
People need to realize that the most important thing is having good nutrition. I recommend everybody take a multivitamin every day. Take vitamin C, take vitamin D, drink milk, orange juice, get magnesium. But folks, you taking 10,000 vitamin D, it's not going to, you're going to poop them out.
Mm-hmm.
You want these vitamins and stuff for supplements. Because if you have a nice healthy diet and you look at the recommended daily allowance of vitamin, you should already know what its body's going to take in 1,000. Body's not going to store 3,000 milligrams of vitamin D. So every smart thing, multivitamin. But is there some type of juju juice from Africa that's going to give you some? Come on, man.
All right, so vitamin D, but a multivitamin and good nutrition.
For your children too, have them get Flintstones. That's what I use.
Yeah. I grew up on that.
and Captain Crunch and Frosted.
Yeah.
And a part.
Yes. All right. So again, share this even after we go off of live. Please share it. Share it with your family members. Share the YouTube link that should be posting soon. If you don't see it whenever we sign off, then no, come back in another 2 hours. It will be there. Thank you all for tuning in. Dr. Roland. Oh, yeah, Flintstones. Dr. Roland, as always, my big brother MD, I so appreciate you coming through. I'm always blessed to have you stop by and share this information with us.
Thank you. And I look forward to, folks, we're going to do this like the third week in January.
Yep, third week in January. So by the time I see you again, it'll be the new year.
This is going to be strawberry daiquiri. I'm having strawberry daiquiri in January, the third week in January. We're going to call that the bar talk with a strawberry daiquiri and Dr. Roland. But it's going to be some interesting information, more knowledge.
Yeah. By then we'll see the impact of the Christmas holiday.
Exactly. Big turnout and stuff. I want to thank you, Queenie. All you folks out there, it's been a pleasure. I hope you guys continue to follow me on Dr. Rolling, Instagram, and Facebook me, Dr. Lane Rolling, and all that stuff. Keep it real and raw, and that's just the way it is. And you guys get to follow me in my world, see what I'm doing and stuff. And I'm looking forward to. I'm hoping that some of you folks out there, you really want to step up to the plate. I'm taking a group of you guys to Peru in March. With me, and we're going to help some village people, and I'm going to take you to teach, and you're going to be safe.
You should have told me that. I would have signed up for this, dog.
No, you still can sign up, but it's going to be March.
How long going to be gone?
Like 1 week.
Oh, so I can get away. I can get away that long.
Do a group of folks, VIP, to Peru in March, and do another one in June, and people are going to travel with Dr. Roland, and we're going to go save some children's lives in the jungles. Bucket, you're going to see what I'm talking about. Then I'm going to take you guys to Machu Picchu, one of the 7 wonders of the world, hanging out with chocolate. Yola.
All right. Well, Dr. Roland, you hang back. I'm going to take us out of the studio. We'll say goodnight to everyone. So you hang tight. Look, everyone, thank you so much for tuning into the Relationship Zone Bar Talks edition with myself and the fabulous Dr. Lane Roland. They're like, I need the details. Don't worry. I want to go. They're all like, I want to go to Peru. Don't worry. Whatever information I get, I will share if I'm allowed. So thank you all for tuning in.
Oh, this is going. My student just got back from Peru last week. We've already done the recon. We're going in March. So who wants to go to Peru with Dr. Roland? This ain't no damn National Geographic either.
Well, we'll get more information about that. Thank you all for watching and tuning in tonight. Please make sure you share this broadcast. We can't keep this going without viewership and support. So please continue to spread the knowledge. Thank you again, Dr. Roland. Hang back. Don't go anywhere.
Take care.
Bye, everyone.